What's up, everyone? Jason from Heap a Jeep. Today working on the 1990, the Renix. Got to change the motor mounts out on this one, and didn't find a whole lot of helpful videos on this one, so once again I'm sort of flying blind. There are a couple out there, but they don't really go into a whole lot of depth. So hopefully this video will be of some use to people that just want to see how it's done. I'm not exactly 100% sure, but we'll muddle through it. So before we get to that, please subscribe if you haven't already done so. I work on this 1990, the Renix, and then I've got a 96 Cherokee as well, and then whatever else needs to be done on whatever vehicles happen to be around at the time. So now that you're subscribed, let's get to the motor mounts. Hey, the passenger motor mount doesn't look too bad. It's right down in here. We are going to have to take the oil filter off, and I think we have to twist the adapter. We have to loosen that up and twist it out of the way to get this bolt out of the passenger side one. But that one doesn't look too bad. The driver's side motor mount, on the other hand, we got to get some stuff out of the way. I think if we just take the airbox off and everything attached to it, we should have some pretty good access to it. So actually, with just the airbox out of the way, we've got some pretty good access here. So I think that's all I need to do. I think I should be able to get to everything. There's a nut and a bolt holding that long bolt in the bracket to the motor mount itself. There's a bolt here, and then there's a nut that we'll have to get at from underneath. But I think I should be able to reach in there. Might not be super easy, but we should be able to get it. So ran out of light last night and going at it again the next morning here. One of the things that I wanted to rail about was your cheap tool sets. You're going to need an 18mm wrench or socket or something, and I buy a lot of Harbor Freight tools because it's what I can afford, and it seems like I've got wrenches, I've got sockets, I've got the ratcheting wrenches. Every single set of Harbor Freight tools I have doesn't have an 18mm anything. No socket, no wrench, no nothing. So had to run out and buy a single 18mm wrench and a single 18mm socket, so just keep that in mind. Okay, so we're ready to start taking the motor mounts off. To jack the engine up, you're going to need a block of wood and a floor jack. Will definitely help. And we're going to put that right under the oil pan and just take some pressure off the engine. Now that I know the engine, I mean, I haven't really torqued it up and things, but I know it's not going anywhere when I take these motor mounts out. So these are the 15s on the motor mount themselves. So the one under the engine is right here, And that's a 15.2. And an extension might help with this one, but oh, this one came out. All right. So let's jack the engine up just a little bit, just enough to take the pressure off. It's lifting the whole front of the Jeep up, so I think that's saying we should be good. I hope that's what it's saying. So hopefully that did the trick and we can start trying to get this bolt out. Might have to raise it up a little more, but we'll see. Now hopefully this just lifts right out. And it does. So this is the driver's side motor mount, and it's not in horrible shape. The rubber is a little hard, cracking just a tad, but overall this is the side that I think held up the best. But you can see the difference between the old one and the new one. Not much. I think these have been replaced before, which might be why they came off so easily, but let's put the new one on. That's one side done. Okay, so with the oil filter out of the way, now we need to get that adapter out of the way. This is the adapter here from underneath, and there's one 5/8 bolt that is holding it to the block. So I need to loosen that up, and I can't do it with the camera right in the way. Okay, so with that loosened up, the adapter will fall out of the way. Now you have to loosen it quite a bit because there's some, I don't know, some vents or pipes or something in there. But once you get it loosened up enough, it'll just fall out of the way. And now would be a real good time. I think I have an oil leak right there at that oil filter adapter. So now would be the perfect time to replace those O-rings. I didn't buy any of the O-rings, so we'll have to save that for another video. But if you're doing this job, changing the motor mounts, you might as well replace the O-rings while you're at it. So on the passenger side, you saw I was using the pry bar. The engine, I guess, had twisted or something. It didn't want to slide right back in, so just giving it a little leverage and then playing around with the jack to raise it up and lower it down a little bit, and we got that bolt in. Took a few extra minutes, but really wasn't a big deal. Just don't panic, and you'll get it done. Alright, so calling this one done. Both sides, got them done. You can see the passenger side one was quite a bit worse than the driver's side one. Still not horrible. I've seen them where this rubber is so degraded that whole center sleeve just slides right out, but definitely getting on the weak side, so good thing we replaced them. So that's done. Gonna get on to some more repairs, and please give a thumbs up if this video helped you out, and please subscribe.